Hey there, today's date, March 11th, and it's almost St. Patrick's Day, and, I'm going to do some celebrating, drinking some green beer, and making some corned beef and cabbage, and I'm just here checking the court's website because, I got that appeal coming up with John Matteson because he appealed the judgment that was awarded, and so I see that on the restraining order case, request to waive court fees. So basically, I guess it was granted, notice of appeal, notice of filing cross appeal. So to waive those court fees, to file a cross appeal is $775. So, he's going to file that appeal because why not? The court's going to let him waive that $775 filing fee. And, he's challenging the restraining order. Now, like I said, all the criminals and scumbags are allowed to appeal. And, postponements, delays, continuances, all they want, it's all afforded to them because they, after all, are granted that ability. The victims of the scumbags, we're not granted anything. We just have to keep taking days off from work. Getting transportation up there, and this is at the Second Court of Appeals, or Second District Court. Let me see here. Yeah, it's at Parties, yeah. Second District Court of Appeal. That's in Santa Clara. That's not Ventura County. Even further. Yeah. Like I said, and he doesn't have to pay any money for this. Everybody jumping through hoops. So, I still am on the fence as to whether or not I'm going to be able to go to the appeal for the judgment, because it just isn't worth all this stress to have to keep proving to multiple judges in multiple courtrooms that my neighbor, Linda Crosnoe, and her scumbag friends, including Mr. John Matteson, they have been nothing but pure grief to me. They keep destroying property intentionally, maliciously, just causing me grief and keeping me in the court system rather than just, acknowledge that they're not very nice. And as the victim of their actions, I have to keep proving it. And it just seems that by now some of these judges could have got together and said, after 7 years, I think she's proven that her neighbor and her neighbor's friends have not been very nice. The restraining order, yeah. It's one thing if I don't get the judgment that was awarded to me, but I need to keep that restraining order in place. So, yeah, I'm just like, oh, God. So clearly I'm not out of the court system yet, and I have to decide just how many more judges I'm willing to have to go make a personal appearance in front of. I'm going to see if I can do this via Zoom, because I really don't want to have to drive 2 hours to go prove to a judge that the person appealing the restraining order still deserves that restraining order.
Think about why you want to appeal, and be honest. Write legal briefs, and more. If you don't do everything by the rules, you could lose your appeal.
Yeah, the court system, it really does seem to be used by the criminal, the scumbag, because they're victims. We are forced to just be drugged through the court system for years and years because of something they did. It's like, God forbid you get in a car accident and now you got to go to court. So, but no, seriously, I understand now why so many people just don't even bother to deal with the court, and they just accept the fact that somebody stole from them, or, you know, assaulted them, or just, yeah. The criminals, the scumbags, they use the court system to their advantage because they know how, apparently. That's probably why they're scumbags, because they know how to use the court system. And somehow, some way, for whatever reason, the court system assists the scumbags and the criminals. And, you know, just causing more grief to their victims. Yeah, I am definitely not going to Los Angeles courthouse. So if I can't do it via Zoom, they're going to have to make their decision based on whatever they want to make their decision based on. But I deserve that restraining order. I do, against my neighbor and against her friends. So, you know, if it's not held in place, what can I do, right? I've done everything I legally. Okay, so here's the official notice of filing, notice of appeal / cross appeal. John Matteson from the judgment dated 1/22/25. And there's no court date, so that's good. Okay, so yes, after learning that Matteson has filed an appeal on that restraining order, my first response, of course, was to contact my lawyer and find out if I'm going to have to prove it again. And he's like, yeah, no, this is between him and the 3 judges. He has to show that there was an error made in some form. And then, of course, I wanted to make sure that the restraining order is still in effect during this appeal process. And he said, yes, it's definitely still in effect. So, you know, if he violates it, make sure you call the courthouse. So, yeah, at this point, there is no future court date regarding having to prove to somebody, another judge, that I deserve that restraining order I obtained against John Matteson. The appeal apparently is between him, the appellant, and the judges, because he's trying to convince the judges that there was some error made in issuing that restraining order. And so there's no new evidence, no new witnesses, no rehearing, no new trial. It's overseeing what took place at the trial. So hopefully, yeah, I don't have to go to another courtroom, at least in that situation. And as far as the small claims case, you know, I'm still working on whether or not I have transportation there. But hopefully he won't just manage to get the judgment tossed just because I'm not there, if I'm not there. But, you know, I'm trying to put in for that via Zoom thing, so hopefully I'll be able to appear, if nothing else, via Zoom. And hopefully the judges overseeing the appeal regarding the restraining order that was issued, hopefully, you know, no matter what, it stays in effect. I've been told that until the appeal has been decided on. But I'm hoping that those judges see that I definitely need that restraining order and don't, you know, toss that. Because that's more important than anything. The money, okay, if the money gets tossed, that's one thing. But I need that restraining order for sure. For someone who had nothing to lose and kept bragging about how he had nothing to lose and he was doing it to me because he wanted to, ha ha ha. Well, he sure knows how to file those appeals, though, huh? Continuances, delays, postponement, right. But no, seriously, I don't regret getting the restraining order against John Matteson or my neighbor, Linda Crosnoe, his friend. And I don't regret suing him for all the damage he did to my car, to my fence, to the retaining wall, you know, tried to run me off. You know, like I said, if the judgment awarded gets tossed, oh well, it's only money. But I got to make sure somehow, some way that restraining order stays in place. So I'm hoping the judges determine that restraining order definitely needed to be issued. I'll find out when I find out. I don't know how long it's going to take. An appeal can take a while, apparently. Good morning. It's March 14th, and new developments. Yeah. First, on John Matteson case, I look at it, to see what appeal situation has taken place. And then I'm like, future hearings, shit. So there's a court hearing. And this time, it has nothing to do with the appeal, but he filed to terminate that restraining order. So that court case takes place on 4/23. And then I go over to see what's happening with my restraining order against Linda Crosnoe, because, they're such good friends and all. And I see future hearings. Oh my gosh, shit. And yep, there it is. Same day though, 4/23, 8:30 in the morning. And she filed for a request to terminate the restraining order as well. Essentially, forcing me to appear in a courtroom again and prove again that the restraining orders I have against Linda, her friends, her tenants, and against her particularly good friend, John Matteson, are warranted. And, if I have to prove it, I have to prove it. But I'm going to appear via Zoom because I do not want to be in the same room as them. The court system. They just keep letting the victim get victimized by the people who are torturing them. So, yeah. Another court date. On the bright side, if you could see a bright side, I guess, is I still have all the paperwork, all the videos, all the police reports, all the evidence of why I needed the restraining order against my neighbor and all her friends. But, it's just crazy that the court system keeps letting the scumbags, that's all they are, they're just scumbags, willfully torture their victims. And they do it right in front of the judge. Yeah, walking away from the money, if I have to, that's that's really nothing. I mean, money is not a reason for stress. But I gotta somehow keep these restraining orders in place. I do. Because if I don't, she'll be right back at destroying my property, and her friend John Matteson will assist her. All right, I guess I gotta call the courthouse right now. Well, no matter what, I'm gonna get the paperwork soon, because they had to fill out a CH 600 and give their reasons for why they want to have those restraining orders modified or terminated. And I'll see what their reasons are for why they feel they should not be required to refrain from harassing me and destroying my property. All right, thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye. All right, just spoke with the restraining order office there, family law. And they said, I definitely can appear remotely, because I did put in for the ability to appear via Zoom through the entire case. So that extends past whatever took place at the original restraining order hearing. So I'm appearing remotely. Yeah, the neighbor from hell, she really is legitimately a vexatious litigant. And I could take her to court for that, but then there's more appeals, I want out of the court system. I just need to just walk away somehow and just let her do her damage, and her friends. I can't let them just keep causing me grief. I got to find a way to make them stop.